Oh, hello class. We are going to model the temperature of San Antonio, Texas for the past 5 years. So we want to recall what these values mean. A is amplitude, B is comes from the period, H is our phase shift, and K is our midline shift. The first thing you need to get is your midline, which is the difference between the high point, which I got here is 85, and the low point, which I got here is 45. I'm sorry, not the difference, the sum of those two divided by 2. So 85 plus 45 divided by 2, that gives us our midline, which is 65. And that's a pretty good midline here. Our amplitude is a difference between the high point and the midline, or the midline and the low point. And in this case, I chose my high point and my midline, so my difference here is 20, so my amplitude here is 20. My period is going to be P is equal to 2 pi over B. That's the equation you got to use. And I need my B value. So my B value is going to wind up being 2 pi. And I can kind of eyeball that since I need it to be 1. Since the period here is 1 year. I need that to be 1. So then B has to be 2 pi in order to make that 1. And so I state here that 2015 is 0 for time. So this right here is where I'm going to start my graph. I'm going to say this is my y-axis, so to speak. And then my phase shifts, which is my h values, are going to be depending on where I decide to start. So as we know, the amplitude, the midline, and the amplitude, the midline, and the B value do not change throughout my entire equation. The only thing that changes is the function, the sign in the front, and our phase shift. So for point 1, starting on the y-axis, gives me a phase shift of 0, and it's going to be negative cosine because I start at the bottom and go up. Number 2 starts at the midline and goes down, and it's shifted over about 0.75, so it's going to be a phase shift of 0.75 with a negative sign. So there's that one. Point 3 is starting on the midline and going up, so it's going to be a positive sign, and its phase shifted over about 2.25. So that's this one. And point 4 is going to be at the top going down, so it's going to be a positive cosine, and its phase shifted 1, 2, 3.5. So that's that one. And so now go ahead and make your own graphs for your own equation off of this graph.